Remember, I'm going to put you in front of me that it was your idea to
Yeah.
start.
No, I told him.
Okay.
All right.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to call the Planning, Environment Management, and Real Property Committee to order. Roll call.
Mr. Sorensen, Mr. Steingart.
Here.
Mrs. Geiger. Mr. Benson.
Here.
Mrs. Edwards, she's absent.
Okay.
You can start.
Ira, you want to wait until he's here to discuss it, Ira?
No, actually, I thought about this morning, and I'm going to handle this a different way, so I'm not going to discuss it today.
Okay.
There's nothing
Man,
to do
that's
with
the only
you.
reason I'm here.
Okay, moving right along. No presentation.
Okay. So obviously, Alan's going to be doing the trail presentation.
Well, we need
So-
one more person to.
And we can't, so we can't do anything, so we're
We can't
waiting.
do
A brief
anything.
summary of it? I'll get
Who
going.
wants to be deputized?
No, she's right here. Cindy.
Geiger in.
All right,
There we go, quorum.
we have a quorum.
Okay.
We have a minion. Let's go.
So we'll go
Cindy,
to,
just to let you
Little
know,
short-
I was
short on that
handling the foreclosure process a
Special
different
rules.
way, so he's not doing a presentation on that.
This is
And
a-
Alan is gonna do the trails presentation next month, so now we are on resolutions.
so on resolutions, the first 5 are with you, Ira. So the first one is to convey property to Town of Liberty. Just looking.
I'll be happy to discuss it. You want a motion first?
We should do each one separately, I would
Yeah.
think.
I'll make a
Yeah.
motion.
Second? I guess I will.
Second?
Okay.
This is property that had a 2012 lien. We tried to sell it at our auction this June. We got no bids. We might have actually gotten a bid in the default because Menino was a second bidder and came in and negotiated with the advisory board to purchase this for $1,000, including all of the other things that one would pay if he was at the auction, including the 2014 taxes in full. It's it was a difficult sell, and so we're happy to get it back on the tax roll, and we recommend it.
It's fine.
Okay. All in favor?
Rezip.
Okay. Next one, might as well go from one to the other, Ira, there's no
Yeah,
sense.
sure.
Okay.
Motion.
The,
Jean.
We have to do a motion.
Second.
Yeah, do a motion.
Cindy.
this one's a mobile home in Mamacating, also not sold at the auction. John Ellis came in and offered us $4,000, including 2014 taxes, so that's, but the $4,000 exceeds the amount of delinquent taxes for 12, 13, and 14 combined, so we're not losing any money on this, and we recommend this one as well.
All in favor? Aye.
Rezip.
Motion on the third.
Jean.
Second?
Cindy.
This property we've had for, we don't own it, the village of Monticello owns it through a tax foreclosure. It's the property right here on the corner, the Ingberg/Toomey property. It's been abandoned for many, many years. As a result, there are 2 parcels, but the larger parcel, which is a significant one, our taxes exceed $123,000. The village of Monticello has taxes, we don't know the exact amount, but it's probably about the same. There is a buyer for the property, represented by Marvin Newberg, who's offered to pay $100,000. We have an agreement with the village. The village will adopt a resolution, hopefully. And if they do, and we do, the sale will go through for $100,000, and we will share that money with the village pro rata. We'll figure out the percentage of taxes, share the money that way, and this resolution authorizes us to discharge all our liens for that money, even though it's not an adequate amount to pay all of the liens.
Perhaps to throw a wrench, I assume we looked at that because of the proximity to the government center. Did anybody look at it for storage for our documents?
We looked at that years ago, and I forgot his name, was in DPW many years ago. The guy before Bernie Kozakowski, I forgot his name, but he went in there and this place has been vacant, and he did a report then that said it was uninhabitable and should be torn down. Now, my understanding is a gentleman has purchased from the corner, the piece on the corner up here, where all the signs usually go up, was owned by Wide Lumber. It was originally purchased, and he purchased all of the property down here, including the Ingber building. So that's going to be developed.
Okay.
Oh, the old Monticello Clinic?
I'm sorry?
The old Monticello Clinic?
Yeah, the second lefties, however you want to look
Yeah,
at it.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Herzog was running it after.
Yeah,
and
it was
before
left.
that was
Jeff's place.
Department of Labor or something, wasn't it?
No,
Monticello Clinic, it was Monticello Mental.
Tully
Clinic.
ran out of there for years and years. He had the harness business
Harness
out of
stuff.
there.
Yeah,
Right.
it was a saddle shop.
And how many
basically.
years has it been vacant?
Oh,
Many.
Yeah, the 14 I've been here.
No, it's been a long time.
Valley Road.
All in favor?
1978.
3-zip.
Okay, the fourth one, motion,
Motion.
Jean,
second. I'll second.
this is straightforward in the respect that, under the terms of our auction, if the high bidder at the auction defaults, we always contact the second bidders. So these are 3 second bidders who have agreed to purchase property that they bid on with a bidder default.
Discussion, all in favor? All right.
3-zip.
Motion on 5.
Jean, second.
I'll second.
Ira.
Okay,
These are 2 properties in the town of Thompson. The first one is the more significant one, the 30-5-4, Class 484, 1.5 acres. But it had an environmental problem. It's on the Cold Spring Road past Pavasis.
Is that
It's
the old
an-
gas company?
It's an abandoned building. I don't know if it was the gas company or
By
not.
Sullivan County Gas?
I'm not
Okay.
sure,
Okay.
but I saw, we had pictures of the building at the advisory board. Also not sold at the auction, there's another parcel, which is a vacant piece that's .02 acres. John Makovic came in. He has the property on
Sorensen.
17B,
Yep.
and he's offered to purchase,
what are you with that?
Okay, thank you.
he's offered to purchase both of them for $21,000. The taxes on the larger parcel, let me restate that, he's offered to purchase both of them for $21,000, plus paying everything else he'd have to pay at the auction, including the 2014 taxes. So, taxes for 2012 and 13 on the large parcel are just under 13, on the smaller they're 300. So the offer of 21,000 exceeds the amount of delinquent taxes on both parcels. And he's going to also renovate that building and make it useful.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
We deal with him frequently.
Yeah. Okay.
Call the question.
We did.
No, we didn't.
Well,
Not, we didn't call
No,
the
we didn't vote.
question.
We did.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Got motion second.
Okay.
4-zip.
Planning.
Number 6.
All right, for planning, we have a resolution authorizing an advance from the general fund to develop a comprehensive coordinated transportation plan and feasibility study.
Yeah,
Jean, second. Ira.
Freddie?
I'll just explain both of those. They're sort of similar or resolutions. Basically, we have these 2 plans. Both are funded through grants that require us to pay the contractor up front, and then we get reimbursed. And so this is basically requesting transfer from the general fund to sort of seed our ability to pay the consultants, so that we can get reimbursed from the funding agencies.
Well, it's a USDA grant, right?
These grants we've already gotten.
Yes, and both projects are in process and well along on the way.
Okay. All those in favor?
4-zip.
Okay, and last, planning resolution authorizing an advance from the general fund to update the county's ag and farmland protection plan. Motion?
I'll move it.
Jean, second. Ira? Discussion?
It's basically the same.
Same,
right?
basically the same.
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor?
4-0.
Okay, real property. These are correction of errors.
I'll make a motion to move 8, 9, and 10 as a block.
Second, okay.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory, right?
Anything special? No?
No.
Okay. Call the question, all in favor? Okay.
4-0. Who's at the end of the table then? Mr.
Brewis.
Brewis?
Alan, I kind of whipped through your trails
Scott's at the
presentation.
other.
We think it's a great idea, it's going, that's gonna be fabulous.
I will say a few words on that.
You have it right there.
Well, I kind of have it. I was experiencing technical
Just wanted to see
difficulties.
Are you stuck on the trail?
The next, I guess, with respect to the trail committee, the next step will be the formal appointment of the committee. So I have a tentative list of names and different stakeholder groups that planning has put together. So what I'll be doing is distributing that list with my colleagues so that we can make a final selection. And, well, first we've got to reach out to everyone, see if they're interested in being on the committee. But I think in Sullivan County, we really have a unique opportunity to create a world-class trail system. There's bits and pieces of it that already exist. It's just kind of a matter of getting all the stakeholders together to kind of row in one direction and identify the priorities for enhancing the trail system so that we can develop it into a world-class facility. Geographically, Sullivan County is about the size of Rhode Island, so it's very close. And we have the O&W rail trail segments, which I think with time and a concerted effort, we can, have a rail trail that extends, along those segments that still exist. Obviously, part of Route 17 has consumed part of the O&W right away, but in addition to that, we have the D&H Canal Rail Trail, we have D&H Canal Towpath, we have Never Sink Unique Area, we have trails in the Catskill Park within the Upper Delaware Scenic and Recreational River. Really, we have the opportunity to create a trail system that offers very unique experiences for visitors, and through this Trails Committee, I would like to be able to coordinate our efforts, identify priorities, and most importantly, be able to move forward and secure funding to really improve and enhance this trail system so that it can reach its full potential. So I meant to do a little more formal presentation, so it's going to have to wait till next month. But before the next month's committee, I would hope that we have had an initial meeting with the Trails Committee so that we get the process kicked off. And then so that we can then, kind of finalize the direction that we're going. I think one of the most difficult things, one of the most difficult tasks that we're going to have is really focusing our efforts, because there's so many different opportunities out there. So you have, what I see as complementary interests, some may perceive as competing interests. So you have the rail trails enthusiast, and you have biking enthusiasts, then you have just, people who are just solely into hiking and backpacking, and obviously there's, potential for cross-country skiing, snowmobiling, ATVs. How do we focus and prioritize all of those various segments? That's, I think, going to be the challenge moving forward. But I think if we're successful, again, we have that opportunity to create, a world-class system of trails here that not only benefits the local residents that live here, but more importantly, not more importantly, but as importantly, attracts visitors here to come back time and time again. So that's it on the trails for this month.
I'll get you an email address for Connie Duquette.
Okay.
Great.
And, yeah, go ahead.
At some point, you would reach out to, I know like Morgan Outdoors does trail events and activities and.
Lisa's already on the, on the task force.
Okay. And
Right.
some of the bed and breakfast inns, I think, that do cross-country skiing, I know along the river
Okay.
and stuff.
Yeah, there'll be both a geographic representation, so, representatives from throughout the county. It won't just be focused on one area of the county. And then the various segments of trails. Again, I think that's gonna be the difficulty is coming up with a list of priorities, because when we come out for funding, when funding becomes available through the CFA process or through Transportation Enhancement Program, every stakeholder group out there is gonna think their project's a priority, but I'm hoping through this process, we actually identify a means by which we establish the priorities.
I will say this with respect to the CFA, there was a trail project that did get identified as a priority project for the region in this year's CFA because it was cross-cutting a number of different counties and municipalities, and I think in terms of identifying priorities, I think that's a clear criteria.
Okay, and which just brings to mind, that I think that's where projects, I'm not limiting to this project, but I know Orange County and in Deer Park just recently completed the segment of the D&H Canal up to the Bashkill. I know Mamakating's working on it, various segments, and has completed segments. There's also the possibility of connecting up to Ulster County. So that's just one example where
Exactly.
Sullivan County is
Exactly what I'm talking about.
geographically well situated to participate with our neighbors.
Just so you're aware, at the statewide Fish and Wildlife meeting, I reached out to Pam Otis from the New York State Parks, Recreation and Historical Preservation Office.
Okay.
She said she would be more than happy to help us with this.
That's great.
Unfortunately, she's going to be retiring in about 7 months, and she doesn't know who her replacement's going to be. But she'll get me that information,
Okay.
and that they're more than willing to help us.
So Alan, I just had another question. So once you get a little further along and you have bed and breakfast inns maybe for potential for cross-country skiing, biking, hiking, things like that. Because I use the trails here for cross-country skiing, and we also travel a little bit, but we always stay at an inn or something because they have rentals of skis and, they have events around that. So at some point, will you pull in maybe the Bed and Breakfast Association or something and present to them what the committee has come up with so that they can start thinking about how they could tap into that? Because to do the trail system, you need people to use the trails, you know what I'm saying? Skiing, hiking.
We can certainly do, we can certainly invite, different stakeholders or interest groups, to the committees. The meetings will be open to the public, and there'll be a public comment period. I was thinking have a short comment period before the meeting, just in case people don't have time to stay through the whole thing, but then they have also a comment period towards the end as well. So, I know a lot about the trails in the county. Obviously, I don't know everything, and you don't know who walks through that door, who may be representing a group that we haven't identified, or maybe a property owner that wants to make a generous donation to effort.
Right.
You never know.
Actually, it doesn't even have to be in the county, kind of a case in point. I'll put in a plug for Trailkeeper. They're having an event this Saturday. I think it's some kind of anniversary event, and Heather in our office, who's been involved, tells me that there's a group, the name escapes me at the moment, but it's an out-of-county group that's coming here to help develop the trails. They're going to be, creating a new trail, not a rail trail, obviously, but, doing the whatever trail maintenance activities. And it's a group that does that. They like the area, and they're coming into camp to support, the
that's
county
great.
trail efforts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Public comment.
Public comment? Thanks, Annie.
What's up with that?
Build it, and they
Motion
will
to,
come.
I'll
adjourn.
vote.
Jean,
Nope, not gonna check.
Cindy.
In the Max restaurant I've got.
Yeah.